Just like every year, Jesus would partake of the Passover feast with his disciples. In fact, Luke chapter 22 tells us that he eagerly desired to take this meal with them, that he looked forward to it. See, the Passover was a joyful time. It was a celebratory feast. It was a time to remember and to celebrate the Exodus and how God had delivered his people out of Egypt. And throughout the meal told a story. And Jesus would take emblems of that meal and give them a whole new meaning. You see, we read in Matthew chapter 26, beginning in verse 26, that as they were eating, Jesus took bread and after blessing it, broke it and gave it to the disciples. And he said, "Take, eat, this is my body." And he took a cup, and when he had given thanks, he gave it to them, saying, "Drink of it, all of you, for this is my blood of the covenant, which is poured out for many for the forgiveness of sins. I tell you, I will not drink again of this fruit of the vine until the day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom." See, Jesus would take the bread, this unleavened bread that was made in haste to talk about the experience of the Exodus. But it also had become known as unleavened bread, representing sinlessness. And Jesus was showing that his body, his life was sinless and would be broken. He's speaking of what he would endure in just a few hours on the cross. And then he took the cup, and during the Passover feast, there are really 5 cups. And after the meal, Jesus probably would have taken the cup of redemption to say that this cup represents my blood, that the blood of this new covenant would be for the redemption of God's children to experience forgiveness. Not only is he giving new meaning to these emblems, but he's also giving his disciples hope. Because he would take the next cup, the cup of restoration, and say that I will not drink of this cup again until I drink it anew with you in my Father's kingdom. What he's telling his disciples is that what's about to happen, the pain and the suffering of the grave, that it is not the end. He's preparing them for a new future, one of which they could not even imagine. See, I love how Jeremiah also tells God's people that I have plans for you, not to harm you, but plans to bless you, to give you a hope and a future. Yet Jeremiah was speaking this to a nation that thought that God had forgotten them and left them, and that they were enduring such difficulty. We too today can be encouraged by the words of Jesus that there is new hope. That though the season we may go through, no matter how bad it may seem, that there is hope and that God has a new future in store for us. So this Passover, as we consider Jesus as our sacrificial lamb, let us hold on to the hope that the cross and the grave are not the end, but that the good news, the gospel message, is that Jesus rises from the grave. Jesus restores humanity back to God, and Jesus offers a redemption of sins and a restoration of God's people, and to look forward to the day when he will return to take us all home. May we all be found faithful and ready for his return.